According to the CDC, 37 million people have diabetes, which is 11.3% of the US population, and about 23% of the population is undiagnosed. Up to 96 million people in the United States, 18 and older, have prediabetes, which is 38% of our population. Out of our elderly population, 26.4 million people in 65 and older have prediabetes, which is 4.8% of our population. These numbers are outstanding and bring perspective to the lack of information our civilization has on preventative care. Our Matrix mentor, Kathryn Glendon, is a dynamic, forward-thinking, master's-level public health professional with experience in community health promotion and prevention with a focus on total wellness. She leads with heart and listens to her clients to develop their vision statements and create a roadmap towards their change. Katherine and I will discuss how you can avoid getting type 2 diabetes. Follow our show and bookmark our podcast so you don't miss out on our fantastic Matrix mentors. It's a pleasure to meet you, Katherine. Can you tell us about your professional health journey?
Sure. So nice to meet you. So I am kind of taking on the direction of lifestyle change to prevent type 2 diabetes. And I've gotten in this space due to family members having it and just seeing the need that the broader community tends to be at higher risk for type 2 diabetes. And most people don't know they're pre-risk until they've already been diagnosed. And so through simple changes and through my life coaching business for weight loss, we've seen some real results in just changing people's behaviors that leads them to get off diabetes medication and to have a better quality of life while enjoying it at the same time.
I love when I go to the gym and I see smoothie bars. However, I don't love smoothie bar prices. With my BlendJet 2 portable blender, I can make smoothie bar quality beverages for a fraction of the price, right before or after my workout. Blend anytime, anywhere with BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to blendjet.com and use the code OrganicMatrix12 to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. Shop today and get the best deal ever. Thank you, Katherine. There's so much power in what you're doing. I have a personal story with diabetes with my mom. My mom passed away in 2020 from COVID, and she was diabetic. And that was a big thing that hindered her health. And something that you mentioned was behavior. A lot of people like me would think that it starts with diet, but it makes a lot of sense to approach behavior because a lot of the impulses that my mom had, for example, was eating a lot of unhealthy food due to emotions, like kind of self-medicating in a way. Can you tell us about some of the behaviors that diabetics suffer with and what kind of behaviors they must address to start adjusting their diagnosis?
Sure. So a lot of the things I address with my clients is not even talking about for food first. It's the behavior, the stress and the triggers and how they're feeling and dealing with that. And a lot of that is through coping with lack of exercise or just feeling the need to have comfort food that makes them feel better. But at the end of the day, that same issue or result is still there. So mind definitely it goes hand in hand with lifestyle. So, before you eat something, you ask yourself, I tell my clients, like, why? Are you bored? Or are you hungry? Like, have a glass of water. Wait, like if you're really hungry, then eat an apple. If you don't want to eat an apple or a fruit, you're not really hungry. It's just like something to do. It's a rainy day, you had a bad day. It's just easier to grab something quick or, pick your favorite food. But at the end of the day, what I always say is like the food tastes the same from the first bite as the last bite, but we always don't remember the last bite. It's the first 2 bites that kind of get rid of that craving. So it's not about elimination. It's just about balance. So, it's something to think about, especially like what are your behaviors that are leading to that. If you're constantly having food in your house that you know is what we would consider something that would lead to type 2 diabetes, which would be processed, high fat, high sodium foods. We want to remove them from the home so you're less likely to snack on those.
Thank you so much. Can you tell us
Mm.
about your personal experience with type 2 diabetes and what inspired you to support people in this area?
Sure. So, on a personal note, my brother has type 1 and my father has type 2. And just through my weight struggles, I wanted to make sure that I had the knowledge to keep myself healthy, as well as provide that for my father and then, take that information and share it because not everyone has access to that type of information or hears it from the doctor or can go in and really learn about it because there's a lot of misinformation out there on the internet, and there's a lot of people who tend to be following trend diets that don't lead to permanent weight loss, which then increases your risk again for type 2 diabetes. So it can become very frustrating when you're trying to lose weight and you're not sure what to listen to. And it really comes down like the less calories you eat and the more you burn, you're more likely to kind of lose weight. But when you're at the higher risk, it's all about maintaining your blood sugar at a stable level. So it's important for me to get this information out so that people, don't put themselves where they're on medication for the rest of their life, so that they can, by eating the right and moving, that they can work their way off of that medication into a lower weight.
Thank you. Can you tell us the difference between type 1 diabetes and type 2?
Sure. So type 1 diabetes is very different from type 2. So type 1 diabetes results from an autoimmune reaction that usually appears in adolescents, young adults. And type 2 diabetes develops over a couple of years, usually when you're a little bit older, and include risk factors such as excess weight and lack of exercise. Type 1 diabetes results, they don't always produce enough insulin to be able to kind of manage the glucose and the sugar. So the immune system attacks and destroys the insulin, and the body's unable to use it or produce it. So that's why they have to give themselves insulin on a daily basis.
Wow. What are some risk factors that could lead up to diabetes or prediabetes?
Sure. So sometimes just being a baby that was, considered you were a mother who carried a bigger baby, had diabetes while you were pregnant, someone that could be known for being considered obese or having a high body mass index. Other things that could make them more at risk is an inactive lifestyle, foods that have higher fat, higher, the bad fat, the cholesterol, all of those things, a lot of sodium foods. So when you tend to have a bigger belly, as well as also a risk for type 2 diabetes that we see. And, if there's a history in the family, and we tend to see this in people over 40. But the good thing about type 2 diabetes is that it's very manageable and preventable if people have the knowledge. So it's learning how to fill your plate the correct way, where half of it are those nice like greens and vegetables, 1/4 protein, 1/4 a healthy carb. And so removing as much processed food as possible. So shopping the outer part of the grocery store, or substituting different types of pastas that have higher fiber, and really looking at the food labels. Most people don't realize how much is in a serving, or that a little package could actually be 2 servings. So it's just knowing all of that stuff. And it's confusing at first. And so it's hard for people to really grasp how to and where to start. And, it's not eliminating everything from your diet. I don't, recommend it unless you have it, your doctor says so, but it's finding ways to add more whole foods to your diet and finding ways where you can get 150 minutes of exercise a week into your life. And that doesn't have to mean going to the gym for that long. It could just be, moving around in your yard, raking leaves, the saying of parking your car far away. So little adjustments to your life really do work. And I think another thing people need to realize is it really does take patience, because, for weight to stay off long term, it should be 1 pound to 2 pounds a week. It shouldn't be anything too drastic, because then it's harder to maintain. And I think that's the hardest part of the diet, is once you get to a level you want to be at, is how are you going to stay there?
Thank you. I'm glad that you mentioned that there's some myths online about diabetes, which makes it hard for people to know like what information to go to start adjusting their lifestyle. From face value, it sounds like diabetes would be triggered by sugar, but what I found interesting was that you mentioned high fatty foods. Can you kind of explain how the myth of only sugary foods is not the only thing to avoid if you're trying to avoid diabetes?
Sure. So foods that have a higher fat count tend to have more calories, because fat grams are 9 grams per, and carbs and protein are 1 gram. So more foods that have higher fat have higher calories. So you're getting limited portions, but they have more calories. So that tends to relate to the heart health, and heart health and diabetes go hand in hand. So things that you're eating, like fast food, is higher in fat and sodium, and those affect your cholesterol and heart levels, which then affects your blood work for diabetes. So it's not just eating a lot of sugar and candy, it's eating foods that can contribute to higher cholesterol and blood pressure. So there are healthy fats that we call them, such as like your...
Hey there, health and wellness enthusiasts. Are you tired of sifting through countless supplement brands at their bold claims only to be disappointed by the quality or results? Your search ends here with Bulk Supplements. At bulksupplements.com, they're dedicated to providing you with the finest, most reliable nutritional supplements without the fluff or gimmicks. Their products are thoroughly tested and come in their purest form, so that you can trust that you are getting the best. With over 500 supplements available in bulk, including vitamins, minerals, herbs, mushrooms, amino acids, proteins, you'll find exactly what you need to support your fitness journey, boost your immune system, or enhance your overall well-being. Why should you choose bulksupplements.com? Purity. They prioritize the highest quality ingredients without unnecessary additives. Affordability. Their bulk options make you get more value for your money. Convenience. Shop easily online and enjoy hassle-free shipping right to your doorstep. And variety. Explore their extensive selection to find the perfect supplements for your unique needs. Transform your health and wellness routine with the power of bulksupplements.com. Visit their website and use the promo code ORGANICMATRIX for a discount off your future purchases. Experience the difference that pure, high-quality supplements can make in your life. Remember, it's not about the supplement, it's about investing in a better you.
Healthy nut butters and your avocados and your omegas, your salmon, and those work really well. But there are other foods like chips and processed foods that really aren't great. And it's all about portion control. So, nuts and trail mix are great, but, a portion of that is a quarter of a cup. And that is dense nutrition food, so that it tends to have more fat in it. And so, when you're eating cheese, a lot of people love cheese with the clients that I work with. And you can continue doing that if you choose the fat-free cheese, which is always very different tasting, right? So when you go from nice foods that have higher fat, because they all taste good, especially, any type of baked good tastes better with higher fat. It's just you have to adjust your taste buds. But in the long term is that you get to live longer and you don't have to be on medication.
Absolutely. Do you recommend our audience to start, if they want to make changes, to have a food journal, or like to download an app similar to like MyFitnessPal?
Sure. So something that I always work with my clients is just tracking your food. And there's actually research shown that the more that you track your food, the more aware you become of eating. And then you can bring it to a coach or a nutritionist or your doctor. And it's very easy for us to see, okay, what you can kind of add or delete or incorporate into your daily food that you like, or how you can balance out going out to dinner at night and what you can eat during the day so that you can still enjoy something at night as well. So it really is all about balance, and it's a lifestyle. So you are going to have ups and downs, but eventually you learn it. And that's what's so great about kind of not eliminating anything and just being more conscious of what you're eating, is that there are no really kind of things that are off limits. I don't personally believe in bad and good foods. I don't think you should stigmatize foods at all. I just think that it's about how much you can have at one time. Especially now with, there's different holidays coming up, and sometimes, you don't want to shame yourself. Like, you're not going to get rid of your car because it has one flat tire just because you had one meal that you overindulge. You're just going to get right back on it the next meal, the next snack, making sure it's nutritious, full of greens and healthy grains and protein, and making sure you're drinking enough water.
When I hear your health advice, it sounds like something that we all should take home and practice. It makes me think that food sounds more like an addiction nowadays than actual food. And like the foods that we're supposed to eat, it's just strange to me that we have like an innate resistance towards it because of how our taste buds developed from all of these processed foods. I just wanted to mention like how I think it's so perplexing how we're starting to learn that our phones are actually causing our neural networks to react as if we're addicted, and these addictions are following us throughout our lifestyles. And just like doing substance abuse, these processed foods are destroying us in very similar fashions. What do you think about our current situation with food today in America?
I think there's just so many options, and I think we're triggered through emotions. And we kind of eat with our eyes and smells. And what people don't realize is when you're eating like your comfort foods, it actually releases neurotransmitters that make us happy. So it makes us want to eat them, because when we eat this, ice cream, we feel happy. And it like literally is a physical stimulating reward system that our brain has. So studies have shown that when you eat comfort foods, that your body releases those good hormones like dopamine. And that's why comfort foods are so prevalent when you're feeling down. So it's all about distracting yourself from that when you're having feeling like you need to eat something, or you're out and about and you want to eat out. Is like, okay, can you distract yourself from that feeling of being triggered where you need a comfort food by calling a friend, watching a movie, reading a book, going for a walk? Or when you're going out to eat, we always say, advocate for yourself. If you don't want like a sauce on your food, tell them. They'll do it for you, but they don't know that unless you ask. You don't have to go along with the crowd. and now all the fast foods, everything, there's food everywhere, and you can't really have like a get together without food. So, bring your own healthy food dish, or there's calories like on every menu now, which is great. So just like look at the menu before you go, plan ahead so that you're aware of what you're eating.
Thank you. I find this like so inspiring.
Hey there, coffee lovers. Did you know that your daily cup of joe might be tainted with oils and chemicals? If you follow me on social media, you are well aware that I'm all about checking labels, and it's time we say goodbye to these harmful additives in 2023. Shockingly, many of Americans' beloved coffee creamers contain ingredients that you'll never knowingly mix into your coffee, such as canola oil, this potassium phosphate, and artificial flavors. But don't worry, we've got your back with Liard Superfood Creamers. These creamers are made from top notch, all natural, real food ingredients, giving you nothing but the best in every sip. Here's an inspiring tale. Liard began tinkering with his morning coffee routine almost 20 years ago. He discovered that adding healthy fats like coconut oil to his coffee not only enhanced the taste, but also provided him with incredible energy that lasted throughout the day. Eventually, he crafted the ultimate fuel-packed coffee and started sharing his secrets with his surf buddies. So why not make the switch to Liard Superfood Creamers today? Elevate your morning ritual, fuel your day with clean energy, and never worry about hidden and harmful ingredients again. Are you ready to feel more energized, focused, and supported? Go to liardsuperfoods.com and add nourishing plant-based foods to fuel you from sunrise to sunset. Use our promo code Organic Matrix at checkout to save 15% off your purchase today.
Because the way that you explain it makes us feel like we have more power in the decisions that we make every day towards our futures. And I really appreciate your work and how you're helping people.
Yes, like, and I think that's what people forget. Like, you have the power. Like, you have the power to make the decisions. We give you that advice, and then you decide. And just because, society says otherwise, doesn't mean that you need to do it. There's definitely a way to get back on track and avoid type 2 diabetes, but that you have to make that decision as a person. So, as we're listening to this and the listeners are like, you can do it. Like, people have done it, and there's no shame in asking for help. Sometimes we just need a little professional advice just to get back on track.
Absolutely. Can you tell us how diabetes can affect our mental health?
Right. Diabetes can, because it's body image, right? So if I'm not feeling good about myself because maybe I'm overweight, or am using the word diabetes to kind of identify who I am, I'm not going to feel good inside, or I might feel embarrassed because of this label that I have. So it can really affect your psychological dimension, and either make you upset or feel burnt out. And if you do have type 2 diabetes, your emotions could be kind of a roller coaster due to your blood sugar being up and down, and it's scary. So it just kind of totally can take you onto different types of paths. And so with that, it's kind of like, okay, I have this, but I also have power. And how am I going to use my power to navigate through this description I have been identified with by a doctor, and not be afraid of it, not avoid it, but just really, go through it, right? And so figuring out a path, and, just, working on some meditation. So, and, every day, and setting up in your calendar things that you can do to kind of take back your feelings and your emotions about this so that you can work through it. I think if you take the word diabetes out, and if you were to say weight gain and mental health, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like, you don't feel good in your body, and it's kind of the same thing. You want something different, and you don't know how to do that. And that's where life coaching comes in. That's where support groups work. And that's where you can kind of decide, I'm going to take control back because I can. And there's ways to do that by, journaling in your food. Start looking at food labels and what's in it. Like learn how to read a food label, how many servings, what is the sodium, and then moving. And when you're moving and you're exercising, you start automatically feeling good about yourself. And that's also really good for stress relief.
Thank you. I love this. I love this conversation. I love the idea of a support group for people who
Mhm.
suffer with one body image, diabetes, weight gain. Like it all falls down into the same kind of categories to me because of the how these diseases start. Like they all have very similar origin stories, and preventative care is just taking care of ourselves. And because I'm starting to see food as more of an addiction now, it makes a lot of sense how much a support group can really impact long lasting results. Are support groups something that you do too?
Yeah, so we can definitely set up people who need support just to kind of with each other and learn from each other's journeys in life and what they do. A lot of times, what we find is that people love to go out to dinner because maybe they're divorced or widowed or they don't have anyone at home. So, and how do you work through eating out, right? Because you can't just stay in your house forever and eat, the food that, is low fat, low sodium, this and that. Like you have to live your life and kind of we navigate that together and going over menus and being educated and prepared. So maybe it's not food planning or prepping, but maybe it's menu looking at ahead of time. And that's something that's really important too, because food is such a big part of our culture, right? So, and it's always talked about in the media and it's always surrounds every holiday or every celebration. So it's learning how to manage the moments in the moment and just taking each moment at once and not worrying about anything else. And it's something that always can be there, right? For talking for someone that, was overweight, it is, holidays are tough times. It's triggering for people who have different weight issues as well as had diabetes because there's just like a plethora of options to eat and ways to get off track from your daily routine, but you can decide what you want to enjoy and enjoy something that actually tastes good. Don't waste your calories on chips that you could buy by yourself at the grocery store or someone's pie that is never good. So be mindful of what you're eating, and it must taste good for you to kind of use your calories for it.
I love that mindfulness. Like that extends so much. Like being mindful over what's worth the calories and what's not. That's very healthy
Mhm.
because that's when we can start prioritizing what food serves us or not. Dr. Amen, he's like a pop doctor on Instagram now. He always says like eat food that loves you back. Like potato chips don't love you.
Right. No, they don't, and they never give you a full bag of potato chips. Half of it is air, so you don't see that with organic food. You get it all, and so just remember that it's best. And when you're buying, food, you're usually supporting like a local grower, which is even better because then you're providing money back to a small town store or farm. And that's so important these days too, to think about too, instead of putting money towards, a very big brand.
I love that. Can you tell us an inspiring story of a client's success that inspired you to continue doing what you're doing?
Sure. So we work with a lot of clients, and sometimes, I suggest many different things, whether it's food journaling, walking, ideas for breakfast, because it's important to eat breakfast and, fuel your body and look at that as self care rather than, you know, anything else. And so, working with someone for about 6 months and getting them to journal one day worth of food was just like the best thing ever, because you knew it took that person 6 months of every week hearing me why you should do this to do it, or from someone to,
Do you have kids, little cousins, nieces, and nephews? If so, I bet you're tired of the pain from stepping on Legos, and I bet you're fed up with the subpar cardboard jigsaw puzzles. We have a fantastic solution for you today. Go Puzzles. These puzzles aren't just like any other ordinary jigsaw puzzle. They're an exceptional work of art, meticulously crafted from genuine wood, breathtaking designs, and distinct shapes. Go Puzzles promise not only a delightful but stimulating experience, it'll keep you hooked. And the best part? All the pieces are guaranteed to be included, so you'll never have to worry about an incomplete puzzle again. Indulge your puzzle passion with Go Puzzles, a true treat for your intellect and creativity. Say goodbye to flimsy cardboard and hello to premium wooden jigsaw puzzles. They're 100% wooden and they'll last forever. Each piece is hand-drawn, so no two pieces are the same, and you'll discover some fun, whimsical pieces as you work through it. They come in custom wooden box, which is a perfect gift for storage. With stunning designs and unique shapes, Go puzzles are a cut above the rest. I love doing the snow globe puzzle myself. It was great to pull out a puzzle and have it done at night and have it on the table and not have it on the table for a week. What are you waiting for? Go to wongopuzzles.com and pick your puzzle today. And be sure to use the promo code Organic Matrix to get 10% off your order. This is the most fun you'll have with the puzzle, I guarantee. Or get your money back. Go to wongopuzzles.com and use the code Organic Matrix to get 10% off your order and get puzzling right now.
incorporate a protein shake instead of skipping breakfast, even, and giving people other ideas so that they could make that. And then seeing them lose 20 pounds, they were so motivated once they saw that scale change, and realizing that it does work if you follow it, right? So any diet works if you follow it, but when you have all these people supporting you and cheering you on, and then they try your tips and they have success, I think that really fills my soul and makes me know that I'm in the right place of work, and I need to keep spreading this message out there because it does work. People just need to hear it in a way that they need to hear it, and that's okay, because every person's situation is unique, and that's what I like about what I do, because I tailor it to each person.
Yes, you're saving lives over here. You definitely are.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about your program, and if our Matrix members are interested in working with you, how it would look like?
Sure. So there's different types of sessions you can buy. We have our biggest one it's a 10-week program, focus a lot on weight loss, but incorporates body image, mindset, relationships, and it's a one-on-one each week via Zoom, and then weekly check-in. So we go over that, and people have a long 10 weeks is a good amount of time to see some change and to kind of make some changes. And then other things that we offer are just like a life work balance 6-week course, where it's 6 weeks, same thing, but focusing really on how to balance your life around work and food. And then we have individual sessions where people can just set up goals or habit changing. So if they go on glendoncoaching.com, they'll see the different links, and there's a free consultation right now that's running through the end of January. So it's almost like an extra session that they can go on and make an appointment so that we can dig deep into what they really want to work on. And it's so important just to start where you are and not wait till the next Monday or the next month.
Thank you so much. And if they would like to find you, how can they find you?
So I do have, a page called Kat Glendon Coaching on Facebook. And I am also on LinkedIn as Kathryn Ann, and then Linktree as Kate Glendon. So if you just search my name, everything will be on there. If you just go right to my websites, you can click all the different icons to get to where you need to go.
Absolutely. And Matrix members, I'll make sure to put a link to Catherine's website and her Calendly link so that you can make the steps that you need to get the health that you want.
Yes. Hope to see you soon.
Kathryn, I really appreciate the wisdom that you're giving us today. Would you like to give us some words of wisdom? Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Would you like to give us some words of wisdom before our rapid fire round?
Sure. I just want everyone to know that anything is possible. So don't be afraid. I've kind of heard a lot over my lifetime. So it is okay. Just try it. What do you have to lose? Absolutely. And so I'm ready for rapid fire. This is the exciting part.
Have you ever seen a UFO?
No.
Would be pretty cool. Do you ever talk? I hope we do one day.
Do I ever talk to myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you?
Absolutely. All the time.
Yes, I do.
Have you ever held a monkey?
No, but I've held a big snake before. And an alligator.
You held an alligator?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? How did you meet an alligator?
I was on an alligator tour in New Orleans and in Louisiana, and I got to hold a little baby one. It's on my Facebook, on my personal page. So it was cute.
That's so cool. I have such a weird fear for crocodiles and alligators. Now that I'm traveling across the country with my boyfriend in his truck, I walk by lakes and sometimes I see their scales and they look like giant tiles, and I'm like, this is an actual animal that's in the wild here.
Yes. I know. Just be careful. They're pretty fast.
Well, Kathryn, thank you so much for your generosity today with your wisdom, and I am so grateful for your work and how you're saving people today. Your message is so important, and I hope that a bunch of people go over to you and start taking action towards the life changes that they want.
Yes, me too. Thank you.
Kathryn, you're welcome. Kathryn generously offered our listeners a free clarity call to see what type of program would fit them the best. For more information, check out her website at www.glendoncoaching.com or sign up on the link in the bio. All feedback is welcome and helps us serve our fellow Matrix members. To stay up to date with our Matrix mentors and what we have in store for you, bookmark our website and subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. It was great to have you with us on the Organic Matrix Show, and we'll be seeing you on the next download.